Squeezebox series of information for those who are interested in trying to purchase a Squeezebox. As you see, we're out here in my garage. This is my server for the Squeezebox itself. It's a I have an older gaming rig that I don't use anymore, and it's a basic Pentium 4 machine, 3 gigahertz CPU chip with 2 gig of RAM in it. I have various hard drives, 3 80 gig hard drives internally, and I have 2 external hard drives. The first one, which holds most of my music, is a 350 gig with a 1.5 terabyte backup drive for my whole network for my home. I know you may not be able to see the small box to the right, but I'll close it out. Your icon down here where I have the mouse at, you can see the mouse scrolling around, is the icon for the server software. I'll right click it, go up to the open control panel, and we'll bring up the server software. As you see, it comes up Logitech Media Server. Okay. If you plan on trying to stream your own personal music, you will need a laptop or a spare computer to host the server software itself, which in turn would be smart to keep it all on the same system as far as the music and the software together. What you get is this box right here. I'm trying to get a better angle of it for you. Try to zoom it in a little bit if I can. Okay. So you see the across top, it gives you your status, library, account info, advanced, diagnostic information. I'll go to information first. This right here gives me my information for the Logitech Media Server status. Gives you information on the software version, which is 7.71 that I'm using right now. That's one thing you will have to experience dealing with the Squeezebox system. The software itself is probably one thing I don't recommend for computer newcomers or the uneducated network person. The software itself can be very temperamental, and there is some scenarios that may come up that may cause your hardware not to connect properly or play back properly. So you need to have some fairly good knowledge about how computers work and how a network actually operates. You go down further, it'll tell you the host name of the computer, which is my computer Recovery 1, the IP address of it, and gives you different information as far as the port, 9000 port, so on and so forth. Gives you different versions of different things. Then it gives the library statistics itself. Scroll up to there. I think I went through my last video showing over 4,000 tracks, with over 1,000 albums, 600 something artists, and so on and so forth. Okay. Now it goes over each of my players. And you see here I have one listed for the bedroom, which is another Squeezebox classic. The downstairs one for the previous video. The media room, which is another Squeezebox classic, and then my transporter gives information for all of those. Okay. Your diagnostic, in case you ever have a problem, check your diagnostics. You see right there. Give you that you know it's running. Gives you IP address, and it gives you OK for all of your different port information. And then down here below, I'll talk about Squeezebox.com. And if you're at the IP address for that location, and everything's okay. Alright, we'll go over here to the library. This right here tells you that this is the name of your library. That's why this is important. You need to have the proper name where your music is at, of that drive or a folder. Some people put theirs in a folder on a drive where they keep all their music. I actually have this a separate external hard drive, so that hard drive is named music, and that's where all of my music is at. It asks for the drive letter. That is also important, because you don't have the drive letter, the software will not know where to look for your music, and so forth. Same thing for your playlist. All my playlists are kept on the same drive right there. Let me tilt down a little bit so you can see that, where the mouse is at. That's where you put your playlist information for where your playlists are at. And I ask you right here, a little checkbox if you use iTunes. I don't use iTunes, so I can't give you much more information about it. Those who do It'll probably check that box and it'll ask you different information where the iTunes are listed at, and it may even ask you about converting them over to a regular MP3 format or some other format. I'm not sure. I'm not up on iTunes that much. Let's go back to the top a little bit up here. We'll click the tab under status. Once again, the very top part, it'll tell you if your Squeezebox is running. If it's not, it'll let you know right there. And I ask you about your, as far as setup, you can have it automatically run at login, which this computer stays on all the time. And a lot of people doesn't like having a computer all the time, especially if they're using a laptop or something of that nature where they use it for other things. So you have to put in here that either run it at login, or you can have don't start automatically, or something else after you enter your information. It'll go ahead and boot up. Then down here at the bottom, once again, it just goes over your statistics of your library. This is where if you need to rescan your library, when you add new music to your hard drive, where you keep your music at, you can rip music to it or add it to it, copy it over to it from some other device, but you'll have to rescan, as you see right here, for the server software to recognize the music itself. It doesn't automatically just jump into your library count. You have to do a rescan if you add new music to your system. As you see in mine right here, I have a scan for, look for new and change music files. So that way I'm not getting a complete change of music, or a complete change of my library every time I do a scan, just looking for new stuff. Because some people with extensive libraries, I know some guys have over 10,000 tracks in their libraries, a scan can take even up to an hour. So mine usually takes about, when you do it this way, it takes maybe about 2 to 3 minutes tops to rescan a couple of new CDs that you may have just added and so forth. Now if you want to go to the web page look, you go to Advanced and you can get Web Remote Control. Okay, we'll click on that right here. Give you a little pan up where I'm at. Click on that. We'll back out the screen a little bit here. Now you see right here, this gives you a good view of what you'll see on your computer screen. This is the actual Logitech Media Server software. It comes up in your browser window. I use Explorer Internet 8. It works fine here. I'm not up to date, but it works in Firefox or Mozilla or some other browsers. I'm sure it has something similar to this for the Mac devices and so forth. Over in this corner over here, it'll tell you the last one I played with, which is the transporter. I can also click on the right down or drop down box arrow, and I'll ask you what player I want to choose: the bedroom, downstairs, media room, or transporter. Okay, I'll bring it in a little closer. Okay, so you can get a better look at that. As you can see here, it gives you a little bit of the album art in this area thing. It blows it up if you hold the mouse over it. So you get a look at the album art if you do it on your computer. A lot of folks like the touch device made by Logitech because it gives you the album cover on the device that's just actually out in your music listening area. Okay. Over on this side of the page, gives you the list of things here. Okay, the top one is My Music, Internet Radio, My Apps, Favorites, and Extras. Pretty much what we went over on the device itself. Okay, you can go to My Music, click on that one time, and it gives you another library of items there. I see another drop-down list of items. Then it goes by artists, albums, genres. Same thing we got on the device. Okay. What I might want to do is say go to music folder. Okay, click on music folder. Like I said, I have a I think average size library, and this may take a while on some machines. Sometimes it doesn't. And what usually happens is your music folder, as you can see here, it will start off in alphabetical order or number order, depends on how you have it sorted of all the artists you have in here. If you're a very good or conscientious person who rips their music very detailed, it should have just the artist name. All albums should be in here. But I do have a lot of single different songs because of different places I've gotten my music from, so forth. So it might be a difference of actual individual tracks and albums that I've ripped from my own collection so far. Okay. Well, once we're done with that, we can always go back to the beginning where we were at. You see the little right here. Let's say this is where we're at, and let's say home. I said let me go a little higher up here and go home. Home takes us back to our very beginning menu. Okay. Then we can go to playlist right here. These are my playlist. And let's say I want to play classical. Okay, press on that. As I say, click on that. And that's one thing about classical music I've heard about on different sites. Classical music doesn't really give you a lot of information that regular music does in their information. Most of it don't, some do. So a lot of times you'll get things like just the track numbers listed like this. And down further you will get actually some artist information if you're lucky, and go from there. Let's go back to playlists. Now as you notice, let's go back to classical again. You notice how the whole bar turns a different color. Now towards the end of the bar, around here, you have about 4 different things. You have here where it says, I think it's supposed to say favorites, a little heart, and then the next one it says play. We're going to click on play, and then back it up, back the camera up a little bit, and see how we just added that whole playlist to the transporter. Okay, and now that is what is playing inside of my home. Be track number 7. And that is off the Quincy Porter album, and the artist is Alicia Nelson, my cousin, Grammy nominated for this album. Get a plug in for her. If you're into classical music, pick her album up. Okay, so that concludes our quick little tour of the Logitech Media software. And once again, I can't help but enforce the same thing. If you're not comfortable dealing with computers and computer network systems and so forth, this may not be the system for you. But there's one thing I can say, that once it is set up correctly and everything is working as it should, it is a dream come true. You can sit back and have hours of endless enjoyment using the Squeezebox system. It is just something it brought me back to music after many years of being involved, and then I got out of it because I got tired of getting up changing CDs after CDs. And when I bought this device, my first Squeezebox 6 years ago, it just brought a whole new world to me as far as listening to music and enjoying it. I have everything at my fingertips with a remote control. I can change from one genre to the next, or whatever mood I may be in, and I don't have to leave my seat at all. It's all right there, ready for me to enjoy. So thank you very much for your time.